Flashback 8.4 Muggers Showing the Way. I had paid the bill on the way out as we left the restaurant bar together. Prion Biotech Technical Director Bera Ellis was walking alongside me, pointing directions as we approached intersections and turns. I knew the way back, seeing as I had followed her there. But Miss Ellis did not know that I had stalked her to find and meet her at the bar. And so I feigned that I was following her directions. I was following her. A woman's scream suddenly could be heard from a nearby, unlit alley. I wondered, why are there so many alleys with such tall buildings making them dark? Why are there always threats and dangers in all these alleys? I said, "Wait here. I have to check it out." And I dashed towards the alley, moving my hands towards my Bowie knife that I had concealed in my jacket. But there was no woman in distress. There was no one in the alley except a gruff, maybe 17-year-old girl, dressed like a punk with marked and hole-ridden clothing, a nose ring, and a pink mohawk. The punk girl smiled slyly and asked mockingly, "Looking for someone?" And she feigned, and she had the silliest wicked laugh. And then she said, "Help me, I'm in trouble." It was a trap. I turned and I ran back towards Miss Ellis, but a man of average height and a build had a knife at her throat. It was apparent he was going to mug her and maybe even harm her. And the punk girl screamed, only to draw attention away from me and any possible witnesses. And Miss Ellis, she was mugged at knife point. I could not just stand by and let evil inflict wickedness on the innocent. And like magic, without thought, my Bowie knife was unsheathed and out of its hidden jacket pocket and in my hand. I had a lot of practice of late with that knife. I could not stand by and let evil inflict wickedness on an innocent. And so I stepped towards that thug and I warned him with loud, authoritative voice, "Step away from her now, or I will, I assure you, slay, kill you where you stand." Whoa. I heard myself say, "I will kill you." The rest was just dressing. The meat of what I said was, "I am prepared to end your life right here, right now, if you don't do what I'm telling you to do." Honestly, that open willingness to kill someone was new to me, and it was scary. Had something also changed inside me, like it seemed to have changed for Bob? Why don't they ever give up? This mugger turned to me and came at me. It was him and his knife versus me and my knife. We were in a classic knife-on-knife fight. The foolish mugger had no idea that he was dealing with a now expert duelist. In fact, before even my training here with the Knights Templar, I had training by an Olympic fencing champion at San Jose State University. I had a lifelong hobby and passion for medieval weapons, and so I had practiced with them throughout my childhood and young adult. Foil, rapier, broadsword, longsword, daggers, combat knives, even staves, axes, and a pike and halberd. I took self-defense courses, so I learned what I would call hybrid martial arts. They were focused on mostly disarming and escaping, but there were some moves that were about total annihilation in the event you could not flee. So I could not say where this mugger's knife fighting skills would compare to my own, but I guessed we were going to about find out, and I think I was going to win. The mugger lunged at me with his knife, but I deftly grabbed the wrist of his knife-wielding hand as he tried to regain balance after his lunge, and I pulled his arm outward, away from him, making him further lose balance. In the flashing action, I drove my knife's blade straight into the thug's left shoulder collar. It went through his body, out the other side. Between the serious wound and lost balance, the mugger fell to the street in a bloody mess. He began to regain his footing, but voices could be heard coming. There were going to be witnesses, and they were approaching fast. The mugger pulled himself up, and cupping his wound with his good arm, ran down the street away from the approaching voices.